Hello my lovely spectators, Didi here, welcome to my studio. So we are doing another ABC, hashtag ABC, April 2026. Today is I in the round of letters, so I am trying, I'm reaching guys, I'm like so, oh my goodness. So I've been doing since Math Make March. Every single day I have a video. Sometimes I have bonus videos. I'm doing this challenge and that challenge and the other challenge. So I don't want to bring so much repetition to you guys. Not this early in the game, you know? So had an idea of something that I wanted to try. I've done some prototypes, but no, I don't know if I should show you. Or maybe I should, just so that you know what we are going to be attempting to make. So, well, from the title, you know that it is iris folding, or iris, I guess, iris folding. I guess it's called iris folding, but I am folding anything. So, this look is what we're going for. This iris folding situation, like the lens of a camera. I made this as a journaling card, I guess. I could put, it's light enough that they could write on. This is a 5 by 5, 5.5 by 5.5 square because I feel like a lot of our journals are 6 by 9. And again, you can tweak it once you learn, I guess, the process. So let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 5.5. And so you could even do it as a pocket. Okay, so there are little bits of irregularities, and that's because I'm learning from this process. So it's called iris folding. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find a ton of videos out there. They can be a little overwhelming. Hopefully I'm not going to overwhelm people. I'm trying to make it like as easy as possible. I did not fold because we are junk journalers. I tried to ink to really accentuate those layers that are making this picture. So you need to have a template to utilize, which I'm going to walk you through making. So we're going to do that first. So I'm going to grab a piece of papel. Let's see here. I'm going to just grab just a regular sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy. And I'm going to show you what you have to do. So first up, I made this as a 5 by 5. I'm making it as a 5 by 5 template. And when I first made it, I made a boo-boo. I'll show you the boo-boo because it's actually not that bad. But this is 5 by 5, and notice that I do have a frame. So there's a component in there we're gonna talk about. But let's make the actual iris layout for a square. Okay, so let's get the ruler. Okay, we have a ruler here. Let's get a pen. So a pen, you can do it with a pen. You're not gonna need to get too crazy with it. It's just something that's gonna be drawn. Doesn't have to be in the center of the paper, but we want it to be enough. So I'm just gonna go long. Doesn't really matter. That's at 3, so I want to do this at 8.5. So I have a T-square type situation here, or an L, so the paper is lining up there. And let me do it this way, turn it around. And I need to do it at 8.5. So the paper is not moving. I'm lining it up to the halfway, and the halfway here. And there we go. Let's see here. Let's see here, right here, right? Yes, 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 yes. I should probably get the regular T-square out, but it's okay. All right, I'm gonna turn it because I like to work this way from my body. So I'm gonna just, now some of you may say, oh, why don't you just, you know, cut it out? No, not right now. Because I want to be able to use it as a little bit of a base for the first go around. And I cut mine out after the fact, and then I used it a few times after the fact, so that's okay. All right, we are trying to get on the 3-inch mark so that I could cut, let's see, 4, so make sure that I'm on 4, right? 4, I'm trying to do 5.5, so that means I'm gonna be up here at 9.5. Okay, so I'm gonna get a different one of these because it is kind of cumbersome. Ah, Ow. The tearing ruler caught me. So I'm going to do everything based upon inches. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to go around clockwise around the shape to start making the folds. To make the lines where the folds go. So we're making the template. Okay. So I am going to start up here. And I'm going to start at this corner to here. Well, you know what? How I work, I need to do it this way. So, but I need to do it in front of me, so I'm actually going to start over here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to mark it at an inch. Now let me make sure something that's 5.5, good enough. I'm going to mark it at an inch. If you do it as an inch, you're going to need that at least a little bit thicker than that for paper. So let's do it at a 1/2 inch. Okay, then I'm going to turn the paper the same corner on my right hand because I'm right-handed. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch and I'm going to turn it again at my right hand. We're going to go ahead a 1/2 inch and then we're going to turn it one more time and we're going to have the 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're going to mark that at 1/2 inch. Okay, then from those markings we're going to cross get those points on the original and we're going to connect them. So again, I'm connecting everything on this side. Okay, and then again everything this side over here, keep turning it, and then again I'm gonna turn it again. Okay, so now you'll see that we have one square original and then we just redrew a new square. So I'm going to kind of position that new square to me and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to go to that corner on my right hand because I'm right-handed and I'm going to do a 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to turn it again, bring a corner, the next corner to me of that inside triangle. Again, 1/2 inch and then turn it again, bring that corner to my right hand because I'm right-handed, 1/2 inch and then one more time to that new inside square. Now from there I'm going to again draw the lines, right? You see, I'm glad I used pencil this time. You know, there's always something happens when you're filming, right? I let it go a little bit when I was looking up to the other side. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do again from this intersection to the 1/2 inch, and again this intersection to the 1/2 inch over here, okay? And this one to the 1/2 inch over here where I started. Okay. Okay, so now you will see that we have 1, 2, 3. So now working on the inner one, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to go to the inner corner here and a 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to turn it again. Inner square, 1/2 inch. Inner square, 1/2 inch. Square.
Tags and pockets, flips and folds, washi tape and stories told. Paint and stamps begin to play. We craft the stress and doubt away. Yo sono gli artisti, sono 26. Con papel, con glue, con style. No perfection, just expression. Got our pages of confession. Don't sit back and watch the show. My lovely spectators, let's create.
I wasn't gonna have you watch me go inner square and keep turning it a whole bunch of times. So let me walk you through. I don't want to bring it down too much because I'll lose some of the drawing and gotta make sure I'm in the spot. So you'll know that you have done it the right amount of times because you will have a square in the center, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as you have the same like fan kind of look, you know that you've gotten it good. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to number it because that's how you're going to place them. So you're going to number going clockwise. You're going to start with this being 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm numbering on the line because that's what you're going to line up to, and I think it gives me a little bit, it'll give you a little bit more variety, but you may have to add the number again into the space depending on what you do. So now 4. So now where 1 is, we're going to do, that's our 5. This is 6, 7, 8. Right? Then we're going to go back here. This is our 9. This is our 10. This is our 11 and our 12. This is our 13. This is 14, 15, 16. This is 17. This is 18, 19, and 20. Okay? Now, this box here is going to be a void. This is going to be open. When you do your iris folding, you're going to be able to see through this hole. Okay? So, here's our pattern. There's all you need. And you really can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it depending upon how precise you are as in terms of a trimmer. Now, you have 20. That means you're going to need 20 strips of paper. Right? Okay. We have a 1/2 inch. So, a 1/2 inch spacing. I think you should use a 3/4 inch strips. Okay. You can do them all the same color. Okay. So then you would do 20 of the same. You can do them of 2 different colors opposite, right? You can do them 4 different colors. That is entirely up to you. So now we need to cut some strips. So I'm going to use cheapy paper to just show you what we're doing. This is just that paper from Ollie's that I keep pulling out because, you know, I'm learning too. All right, I'm honest. I'm learning too. So we're going to do one side like this. Let's do another side with those dots. Let's see here. Let's do another side like that. And let's do another side like that maybe. Let's see here. Yeah, sure. Why not? Now you could probably get your strips of your scraps, and this is a scrap buster for sure for any of those like those strips that you have, especially if you don't mind how it looks in terms of like the coloration. So like the example that I showed you before I show you any other ones, I used all music paper, and literally this was one sheet of music paper with a few pieces left over, and I just pulled them apart as I needed them. So with this one I'm going to do it a little different just so that you can see a full effect. So I'm going to take 4 different colors. I'm going to go to 3/4, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, who knows why we did 5? Very good, because we had 5 going up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5. Oh my goodness, I know I'm being silly. I'm also not going to ink for this first one because I just want to see that you can see how it gets laid out. So what I did to make my life a little easier, and also, you know, because is to what you could do, and what I've seen other people have done, is to kind of put the strips on the sides that they're going to go, so that way you can grab them as you need them from that side, and you won't get lost because you are not going to be seeing them. They're going to be facing away from you. So this is a very good prepping situation. Where are my other brown ones? Oh, we have some other ones over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the other brown one. Okay, here's the other brown one. This guy. All right, we got 4 brown ones. Very low, we lost another brown one. 1, 2, 3. Is it all stuck with? Yeah, this guy's hogging all the other colors. What is up with that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. All right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your first strip. You're gonna face it away from you. Now you're gonna ink over here if you want to. That's fine. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna want to adhere it to here. Okay. What I was doing was, because it can go rather quickly, because I did buy all 5, so I'm not even going to worry about shortening them just yet, is I put glue around the perimeter of my 5x5. Okay. Now, you're going to need to keep adding glue, because once you put this down right here up to this line, the one is covered, the one is done, you smooshing it down. Good. Now you go to number 2, which is this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up to number 2, and we're going to smoosh it down. Now over here there wasn't any adhesive, so you can do that now or even after the fact. I'm going to just do it now because it's a little bit easier. Okay. Then I'm going to take my brown one. I'm going to go up to number 3. So it can go relatively quickly. You know, it's going slow because we're talking, you know, up to number 4. Okay. Number 4 right here. And then again, add another layer of glue. Right. I'm just using wood glue right now because I don't want to get stuck. So I'm gonna go back to this guy, go up to number 5, line it up, right? Number 5, go up to number 6, line it up to the line of 6. There we go. Down here to number 7, trying to make sure that we're in frame for all of them. And then over here to number 8. Number 8. Okay. So the width doesn't get really any thinner. What changes is the length. So we're going to see that we're going to have a lot of excess. So if you're not using scraps, you're definitely going to make some scraps, but that's okay. And now again, just a little perimeter glue to help keep them in place, and then you can do the fixing later. So then we're going to go back. We're going to do number 9. So we're keeping in order. Number 9 right here. 9. Okay. 10. 11. I'm hoping I'm getting it because I don't want to put my head in the camera. 11 and then 12. Okay. And we are getting some bulk for sure. But you know, there's nothing we can do with this method. I do have an iris imposter, which I'll show you after this. But and I'll show you what that looks like, and then show you how I did it, because I think it gives the same vibe. And this is something new to bring to your junk journal if you've never done an iris before. And it could be done in this size. It could be used as a pocket. It could be used as a tuck. It could be a flip out if you add a hinge to it. There's a journal card if you add a back to it. Whoops, I almost put the wrong thing. See, stop talking, Didi. Just number 14, you know. So yes, there is potential from here, and I'll show you because I did play around with a few options of trying to make this idea worth your while, right? Because I was playing around with it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I don't mind something that seems a little tedious. I mean, it is a little tedious, and that's okay. All right, so we have one more to do, right? Because I see one slip at every single one. So we're going to do this. Okay. All right. Put it close to the edge, because then or else your strip will miss it completely. So we're at 17. And then 18 is here. 19 is down here. and then 20 is right here. Okay, now it's a hot mess, I know. So what you can do, or what I would suggest you to do, is you're going to need to trim this out. Now let's take a look at the other side. Okay, I can't really see through the paper a little bit. You guys really can't, but you will see if you do these lines a little darker, then you will be able to see, and this is going to be the first time we cut it out, right? So I can also lift this up and see my line. So I'm going to do it that way. Where did I put the ruler? Oh, that's right next to you, loca. And I'm just gonna move some of this out of my way, right? Because we know we're gonna be cutting off a bunch of it. And I'm gonna line up those lines. So this is why, you know, the first time around, we're gonna be able to do this method. So if you wanna do this method, and I'll show you what that means, you do it on the paper from behind, and you will cut it out like that. Okay, sorry, I moved that a little bit. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, now from here, I'm gonna look for my little mark over here, right? And this is where my 5, this is where my line is. So I want to get that line up against my 8. Okay. So it's gonna be on my 8 right here. There we go, and I'm gonna cut this way. Okay. And now the other two will be relatively easy. Okay. Doing this on a trimmer may not be the easiest thing to do because little pieces will be around, and that will be some kind of an issue. All right, so now I'm just gonna go to 2. So I need to go to 7.5. So I'm gonna bring that to 7.5 because I know it's a 5.5 square. Okay. Have faith, guys. Have faith. And then I'm going to turn it one more time. Again, put it up to 2. And then I'm going to do my 7.5. Okay. Now everything should be glued together. There will be some looseness to it. These scraps, since they have all this extra glue, I allow you to throw those out. I give you permission. We're going to turn this over and we're going to remove the template. Okay, so this is where I said that there's sometimes a little bit of issue. So the issue being that these little pieces that weren't all the way across are going to be a little loose. So you just put a little tiny smidgen of glue there, right, all the way to the end. I'm afraid of getting too much glue on my hands, that's why. There you go, right? And then this side over here, there's a few. Okay, you smidge that way. Okay, this one as well. Now, okay, I know, I see it too, guys. I see it too, trust me. I know what you're saying. This is not a square. They're stuck here. That's why they're stuck here, but no harm, no foul, because we know where they go because of the color. So we're going to just put a little bit of adhesive and fix this up. Okay, so when you don't have, and you just use this to make our situation, so we're just trying to line up the 2 edges, this edge and this edge over here, to create our little iris thing right there. Boom. Okay, and then we will do the same thing for this one right here. Okay, so this is your iris pattern, and this is the first way that you can try to use an iris and get yourself an iris frame. Okay, meaning now you have a frame piece that you can attach to and put behind it whatever item you want. Remember that void, and this is still intact. This has all of the pieces, so we didn't lose anything like, oh my god, it's ripped. No, right? So if I wanted to take this frame, put it here, right? Well, this, not this one because it's a little bit soft, but something that's full on, right? Put it here, right? And then cut it out bigger than this void and then glue it to the back. So let me show you. I'm taking the wrong thing away. let me show you how that looks. Where is he? I actually did it already using various types of papers, just so you can see all the same, right? Various types of papers, what an iris would look like. So that's the only thing that would happen, guys, when you're doing it on a piece of paper without a frame. So then you would have your 5x5. The back would be the picture. So if you can have a full picture to cover the back and then secure everything, we can put this as a pocket. We can even round the corners if we wanted to, you know, secure some of that glue a little bit. We can add a hinge. We can make it a flip like I was saying. So you have this frame, you find a picture to put on the back, right? Actually, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Why not? Right? Why am I talking? I have it right here. So let's just take him out the way. Let's see. We want to put from there to there, right? Okay. Okay, and then doing this. Okay, taking that off like that. I'm not worried about too much. I've already positioned it. I'm gonna go up to here with some glue, wherever. Turn them around. Add glue around where the picture is. Turn it around one more time. Okay, now I didn't put it all the way to the edge because it's white, so I would probably finish this off with something coffee dyed paper on the back or something along those lines, right? But now you framed this beautiful item. So iris folding without the folding, the inking. These were inked. You can see them a little more distinctively. These were also inked, right? So now with the frame, how do you do it? Well, you get yourself a frame, right? You could make the frame, do whatever kind of frame. If you've made frames before, then by all means, use a frame from something else. Let's just grab a piece of paper, all right? And I'm gonna make the frame real quick. We're gonna make a frame 5.5 by 5.5 because again, I'm maximizing, right? So 5.5. 5.5, and yes, I need a hole. Okay, so I'm gonna make, let's make a bit of a wider frame. Why not? So I'm gonna go into like a, what is it? A 3/4 frame, and I'm just gonna go around. And hopefully you can see. I'm down here because this is where my eyeballs are. So I can't see past there. All right, so you'll do a little more precision. You know, make a frame using a nesting die or whatever. That's up to you. Nesting dies are actually going to be a really good help with the what's it called? The iris imposter that I'm going to show you in the next half of this video. Okay. Excuse me. Scrap. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to want to attach your frame, again, faced away from you. I think I made this one 1/2 inch, so we'll do it like this. Not that that matters, because it's a square. And this is what I meant about positioning them so that you could always see the numbers, right? So all I'm doing is I'm going to take something simple, some washi, okay? And I'm going to adhere the frame to the iris template. Okay, and I'm gonna look and see how many slivers of paper do we need. Okay, so once I put it, you guys tell me how many slivers of paper do we need. Okay, and so I'm lining this up. Okay, I'm lining the sides up. Let me just make sure that I don't have to shift and shift and shift again. It's a little off, but that's not really going to make that much of a difference, honestly, when you see. So how many slivers of paper do we need, guys? We look and see how many we see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we need this extra one because, hello, this wasn't long enough, but that's okay. So we need 3, 3, 3. That's 9, 12, 13 slivers of paper. So that's what we are looking to put on here. And so I'm just going to take these little scraps out of the way because it's getting very cluttered. So this is distracting me. Hold on. Okay, so let's get something that we can use to put there. Oh, you know what I have that might be interesting? In my stash, I have these guys. We're gonna use these guys, okay? I am gonna look for ones that are at least more than 1/2 inch. And to make sure, you want to see that when you place it down, that it covers, right? Everything. So I could use this one. So we're just gonna cut them down. So now, since this is more of a precious item to me, I'm actually gonna cut them. So if you're gonna be OCD about the where the numbers are going, I can't help you because that's not gonna bother me that much. And I'm gonna do the same thing as before. Going to do the perimeter first. Okay, I don't care if I cover the washi because I'm gonna cut it away and it'll just be pinned in there. So I'm gonna go to number 9. Wait, that's that our first one? Nope. We go to our first one, which is 7. So I am going to need to do a little trimming, but it's not going to be that much. 7. Then where's our next one? 9. So let's just put the other guy over here to 9. Okay. And then 10 is over here. Let's see if this fits. Sure. So as long as it covers the entire thing and I don't see the template, then we're good. 10, right? And then 11 is here. Well, let's grab another one. Let's grab something of a different color. Let's grab this guy. Make sure that he covers everything, right? There's still tape, there's still what's it called? Glue there, so I'm good. And then I'm gonna just trim him off. Excuse me, my bad. So that was 11. So we're gonna go to 12 over here, and 12 covers the whole thing. I don't have anything exposed, so I'm good. I'm gonna cut 12 off. Okay. 13, we need some glue. Okay. So now we're just gonna put some glue on these edges because they will be touching. So we're gonna do 13. Okay, I'm just gonna rip it. 13. And it's not long enough for 14, so I'm gonna switch to something else, but I won't throw that away. Let's get something a little bit as thick. Let's say this guy. So that was 13. We're gonna go to 14. Excuse me. We're gonna go to 15. Let's do this. Why not? I'm just making sure that we don't see the template underneath. 15. Okay. And then we'll do 16 because why not? We'll bring this back in. Okay, now we've run out of glue, so we're gonna do, you know, a few more strips and that's it. We've already done, guys. If you see, it's very simple. Let's see. Do I have something small enough? No. So these will just go back to my stash. Let's get something else. Something of a different color. Do I have something else of a different color? It could be a little wider. That doesn't matter. Ooh, let's do this guy, this green. So we're going to do 17. No, I got too aggressive. I'm just going to shift it down. As long as it is covering the frame and you don't see your template, then you're good to go. All right, let's do that over here. 18. Okay. So 19 is here. It's going to be a hodgepodge, guys, but I don't mind. So just showing you processes. Let's do this guy here. He's short anyway. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, so we have the situation. It is already attached to the template. It's got a lot of loosey-goosey going on. What I liked, what I did last time, was I put the picture of what I wanted behind it. Excuse me. There is, let's see. But you don't necessarily have to. So let's put this behind it. And then we can show what else we could do with this situation here. Okay. Do 5 by 5. Okay. And what I'm gonna do now is I want to glue this like that onto the back of everything, and then we can clean it up. So we're just gonna put glue over here like this around our iris opening, up to the perimeter, up to the edge. I know I'm being a little sloppy, but it's wood glue. It's gonna be forgivable. I went under the computer. Okay, let's go. Let's see here. Line this up to our paper. And we're going to pressure this down. Now, of course, you probably want to add a little more of something like a coffee dye or whatever. And I'll tell you how I got the other effect, because it's very similar to this. And then we're going to remove our iris template, because all I gotta do is cut that washi, which is super easy to cut. It's pinned in there, right? And then we're just going to clean up our edges, cut away the excess strippies. There we go. Okay, I want a little bit in, but that's okay. Sometimes, you know, that's why sometimes it's good to use the scissors, and sometimes it's, I think it's because I'm not right on top of it, for the camera being in the way, you know. But here you go. You have a frame, you have a background. You can make the background be something solid. You could put a picture. Then you can take this over here and you can, you know, you can zhuzh it up. You can add some fabric to it. You can add a little thing and create a nice little picture, right? So anything strip-wise can help you to create the irises. So this was the one we used today with the 1/2 inch. This was my template, kind of a little bigger. This was the one that I did as my template, as well as this one, and this one we did today. So we have the without the frame situation. We have with the frame. Now, how did I get this little edge? All I did was take whatever it was, cut it a little longer, tear the edges, and fold it up, because I didn't like how much adhesive I had to put in here, because you will need to go around and kind of like make sure that it's all nice and sealed. That didn't even come out. Glue didn't even come out there, guys. Hello. Now glue is coming out everywhere. Do as I say, not as I do. Right? Ain't that the way? So with the wood glue, you're gonna have to hold it. With the art, you wouldn't have to hold it that much. Okay. So anyway, going to do that. Now, there's one other thing that you could do with the irises. So you know how we had the frame, right? And everything is nice and central in the frame. Well, if you wanted to, you could take your iris template, whatever it may be, and place it under any shape you want, any place you want, and just follow the numbers. So this guy was placed basically over here like that. I'm just looking at, you see how that is? So I had this part covered with the frame, you know, backwards, and I followed my numbers, and then when I lifted it up, I had this beautiful design. I put a solid piece of paper, the frame was there, and then I decorated it. So you could use an iris and adjust where you put it. It doesn't have to always be a square, is what I'm saying. Okay, as long as you can see the number of the slices and you go in that order, you should be fine. Okay, So how do we do this visual? Right? Because they're kind of a little bulky, but they're not super bulky, right? So there's another option that you can do, and I'm going to show it to you right now, which is to do imposter irises, which are these. So how do we do these? Simple. Nesting dies. All you need to do is grab yourself a set of nesting dies, cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them in this case, right? This was a 5 by 5, and this was a 5.5 by 5.5. So I don't have nesting dies, so I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to bring back a set of squares. Okay, so just hold on one moment. Okay, we're back. So I've cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of paper, starting at 5.5 and 1/2 inch. So 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3. Okay. What you want to do is, you can be really, really precise about this, but I don't think that it needs to be that precise, but it's up to you. I'm not even using the board. I'm eyeballing the centering of this, the nesting of it, right? So I'm making sure that I have the same amount around it completely, okay? And I'm just stacking them. Okay, and we're going to do that until we have them all stacked concentrically, right? And then the last one on the top, I'm going to fold, but not completely. I'm just going to fold and get that little piece in the middle, right? That little divot, and then fold the other 2 corners, opposite corners again, right? Because that's going to find me the center of the situation right there. Then I'm going to place it in the middle, okay? And I'm going to pick them up because I want to take a look and make sure, okay? Now, what you're going to need is hold on to this really tightly. You're going to get something with a little gush. I'm going to place that there. And you're going to get one of your awls, right? Because we all have awls because we all make journals. And we're going to find that center and we're going to stab it. Now, if you wanted to put a brad in here, you could, but I don't advise it because we want a flatness to it that if the brad is there, it's not going to happen. Now, if you know the iris, right, this design has that rotational feel to it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the first one and we're going to put a little glue on this dot, that corner, and then we're going to rotate it until we touch the edge of the one beneath it, okay? Then we're going to lift up that one. We're going to put a little dot of glue under there. And we're going to hold the rest and we're going to rotate this one until it touches the edge of the one below it. See what I'm doing? Then we're going to take that one we just glued to, put a little glob of dot. And then we're going to rotate it until it hits, right? And then again, we're going to pick up the one we just glued to. Oh, I need more glue. Okay. And then we're going to rotate that until it hits right there. And we're going to do it one more time. And we're going to rotate this one until it touches and hits. Okay. So now all of these guys are glued. And if you look, all of the other ones are rotated. And it gives you the same kind of effect. So now at this point in time, you can remove your guy if you wanted to, right? Or if you don't feel like you might be pulling them apart, you can leave it in here, go on the other side, and just add your glue dots to each of the points. Right? Okay, and then now if you're off a little bit in the nesting of it, you may see that there's a little bit of offness to it. You can choose to ignore it, like I probably will, put a little frame around it, deckle the edge. You can hide it. We know we can hide it. So then we're going to just go to the other corners, lift them up, and do the same thing. We're gonna just put the glue and bring it down, right? And then we have just 1/4 left. So now I feel comfortable to take it off. So this corner is done, that corner is done. Now I just want to go in here and put a little bit of glue. And again, how much glue you want to put is up to you. Okay. Now you'll notice that there is no hole in this version, right? Because this is an imposter. So he's got a mask on. We do have a hole in the back, which if we're making this into a pocket or something like that, then you just push it down with your nail. And if you really want to, you put a little piece of tape over that, right? And now you have this picture like this. All you need is another piece, right? Like this, and you can finish off that like design. Or you take whatever image you want and put it in the center, like that. Or you do a cluster, or you do that and you put a cluster. You know, we did this before. We said, we'll put this, we'll put a whatever. Now, we don't want to cover too much of the iris, of course, because that was a lot of work. Well, not this one. This one was like super easy, right? But there we go. There, this iris effect, iris imposter, and the amount of work it takes to do the iris imposters, right? So like this guy is the same as this one. I just showed you that you could put a picture instead of this. You could also put a picture and mount it inside there if you wanted to, right? This is when they're all the same color. If you inking, this is how it will look. So you have seen those, right? You saw how putting the template down and just cutting it off the template, you have no frame, but you can easily clean up the edges and it gives a very free-floating look, right? And you can have that back piece, then back it however you need to be using it however you plan to. Or you do it on a frame with a picture behind it, without a picture behind it, and then you can put a cluster in the center. That's up to you. And you're not limited to making it be a frame that is only a square. You can do something smaller. This is smaller than what it was placed on. So I think, if I remember, let's see here. I believe it was like this, because there was a little piece that got stuck. So I just placed it where I wanted it, the frame, and I did it from behind, of course, right? And then glued everything down together. When I turned it off, I had this beautiful iris effect. But not in the center. It doesn't have to be. It just adds something special. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed my eye for ABC 2026. And that if you try this out, that would be awesome. Tag me if you do videos. Tag me on Instagram if you actually upload a picture of it, you know. Leave me a comment like, are you cuckoo? Oh no, don't say that. That's not nice. But you know, I like to challenge myself, and I guess I'm liking to challenge you guys too. So if you're new, please consider subscribing. I do try to bring some good stuff to the table, and I hope you've enjoyed this. If you've always been here for a minute or more, thank you so much for coming back again and again. You inspire me to keep coming to the table with something different. So until next time, ciao ciao, bye.